All right, let's go ahead and talk about your Utah Jazz. I always time that drink wrong. I don't know why. I should do it faster, right?
That intro is a lot faster than our other one.
YouTube attention span's not so great. So let's go ahead and talk a little about Utah Jazz basketball here. It's a good strategy on YouTube if you are creatively bankrupt to run a part 2 on your most popular video.
Yes.
The most watched video on this channel is actually Utah Jazz, the end of an era, which is a video we put out a while ago.
Yep.
Which is still getting a lot
Which
of views
was a
on the
fantastic channel. Video. Make sure you check that one out. We'll put a link to it right there.
Yes, absolutely. Check that one out.
The fact is another era is ending, Darren.
Yes. In that video, we talked about how remodeling, we don't want to blow it all up, but how the remodeling of the arena is going to change things because of the Utah Hockey Club joining us. It's going to change the layout, so it's not going to be the same ever again, right?
Right.
Well, something just happened again this week that's also going to change Jazz games again. So let's go ahead and break down why it is also important to make sure that you go to as many Jazz games as you possibly can this year. And this is unfortunately a part 2 to that video. It's not because we're creatively bankrupt. It's just because the team made an announcement that forced us to make a part 2.
Yep. On September 13th, 2024, Dan Roberts, the public address announcer for the Utah Jazz, our Utah Jazz, announced that he will be retiring after the 2024 and 2025 season. Dan has been with the program since 1979. The entirety of the team's stay in Utah, and is currently the longest tenured PA announcer in the NBA.
That's right, 45 years. It's insane. First of all, that's insane. And honestly, you know, it's just when you go into a Jazz game, you get there early enough and you get to hear about them Jazz, you know, as they run the court. That's just iconic. You know, this team has had a lot of icons on it, the statues outside. Who could forget Hot Rod Hundley, the legendary with a gentle push and a mile arc, the cowhide glow to hits home and hippie hopping and you know, you gotta love it, baby, all that stuff. When you're in the game, there's no more iconic voice in NBA than our boy Dan Roberts.
You know what's crazy is I remember going to the Jazz game over multiple different seasons and being like, I wonder how they get the end game guy to sound the same every single year. It took me a while to realize it's been the same guy forever. Literally since they brought the franchise to Utah, they've had the same PA announcer the whole time. And then his son Jeremy is also a PA announcer.
Yeah, he's actually covered a few times.
And yeah, he has covered. He's filled in on a few occasions when Dan's not available or whatever. And he sounds almost exactly like him.
Oh, for sure. Almost exactly the same.
You would have to be watching. You couldn't be listening to see it was a difference. You'd have to be watching.
Yeah, it's insane. And it kind of goes a little bit more beyond that. Before he got the gig, as he was the announcer for the ABA Utah Stars team.
Yeah.
Which again was the voice of the University of Utah basketball team as well.
Yep.
So this guy's been calling games and being the public announcer for games here in Utah for quite a long time. This is a quote from Ron Boone, who's heard his voice more than anybody else because he was a player for the Stars in the ABA. Dan is the best in the league. His voice defines Utah basketball, and he sets himself apart from everyone else. Yeah, man, this is his last year. If you have not been to a Utah Jazz game in a while, this is really the last time you're going to be able to hear that legendary voice, you know, call the games, call the shots, call the fouls. And, you know, it's again an end of year.
Take your time, enjoy it, enjoy the arena as it sits right now before they get it under construction a little bit further. Enjoy Dan Roberts and his excellence that is the longest tenured NBA PA announcer. This is going to be a really unique season, Utah Jazz fans. It's going to be everything changes after this year. Go sit at the games, cheer on these young kids, and let's watch some Jazz basketball. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, there is one thing I hope does change after this year, but we'll get into that later.
It's a different video, Darren.
We want to hear from you folks. Let us know in the comments down below what you think about the announcement that our legendary PA announcer Dan Roberts is retiring. We want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below. Who do you think is going to replace him? Do you think it's just going to be a Nepo thing where we just roll it into his son Jeremy, let him take over? I'm all right with that. I'll be okay. I'm be perfectly fine with that.
Doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
Doesn't hurt my feelings at all. We want to hear from you folks. Also, keep in mind, folks, we did just launch our own channel covering your Utah Jazz called Utah Jazz DNA. If you're watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, a link to Utah Jazz will be in the description below. This is where you're going to find all your Utah Jazz coverage first before it goes onto our main channel, DNA Sports Recap. If you're watching this on Utah Jazz DNA, we would really appreciate a subscribe and a like if you enjoy this content. If you're following us for our Utah Jazz content, once this channel hits 1,000 subscribers, we're giving away one of those sweet new Utah Jazz black jerseys. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on that giveaway.
Yep. And if you're watching on YouTube on one of our short videos, or you're watching on the live stream, just know this is available as a podcast wherever you get your audio, the whole episode, audio only once we're done here.
Once again, folks, we did make it to 1,000 subscribers on DNA Sports Recap. If you have not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. We'll be giving the first $500 that we earn in AdSense revenue back to y'all. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because as that AdSense money rolls in, that money's going to roll right back up to you. Exactly. All right, so let's go ahead and pivot on over. Let's go ahead and hit a comment here real fast before we get into that. It looks like we did just get another one here. Let's see here. This is coming from Greg Hawkins. It's been so hard to sit through the Ainge rebuilds. I believe his strategy. I believe it sucks in his strategy, but it sucks in your absolutely
100% agree.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there on that one, Greg. But I do think it kind of goes a little bit deeper than that. I don't really have.
It'd be nice to know the direction.
Not only that, but I'm not sure that they realize. I don't think Danny Ainge realizes that building the Jazz is not the same as building the Celtics.
Well, I think he might have thought that when he started this whole task. I think that he's realizing that now.
You think he got the point now?
I think after one off season and a good solid, oh, wow. Yeah, no, people don't just want to come to Salt Lake City for no reason.
6 failed trade attempts. I agree with you there.
I hope that he can figure it out. I have faith that Ainge will make something work. He's not going to put us in a worse position than we were before, because if you remember, the Jazz, when we had Rudy and Donovan, were a team with 0 trade assets. Mm-hmm. We were maxed out on all of our contracts. We had everybody maxes. Yeah, we had a bunch of good players. We had Mike Conley and Royce Donovan O'Neal. Mitchell, Royce O'Neal, Bojan Bogdanovic.
We had a good squad.
But we had nothing for the future.
Right.
And we can't say that now. We've got some young players that are looking to make some noise in this league, that are talented, that will be good. We just got to keep supporting these guys.
You know my stance on that, right? Until you get one ring, F the future. You got to get that first one, and then you can start worrying about building a long-term contender. You got to win one before you start worrying about that.
I know you always yell at me for this.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll get there.
We'll get there. It's fine.
You're learning.
Everything's fine.
Everything's great in Jazzland, for sure. But yeah. So yeah, great comment there. I want to go ahead and dive into a little bit more next week on the Utah Jazz and what you're talking about as far as Rudy and Donovan, that regime. I'd like to talk a little bit more about that next week. So be sure to tune in next week. So when we talk about that, you'll be able to hear more about that. That's in the industry what we call a tease.
Yep.
With all that said, my name is Darren. That is AJ, and this has been the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time, check out our merch down there.
Check it out.